What's the difference between leadership and entrepreneurship is what we're talking about today on the eCentral Business Show. I'm John Nayler and joined today by Arthur McKinley. Arthur, thank you very much for coming in to see us.
It's a pleasure, John. Absolutely.
Now, you're on a couple of boards and things. You've got a bit of a long history as well in media and PR.
I have, but the board that's interesting me at the most at the moment is ACN Communication Solutions, which is a Brisbane-based company, and I'm the advisory board chairman.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I'm aware of that, and we've had ECN here, and a great success story for entrepreneurship. So
yes,
we'll probably end up talking about that by the sound of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm attracted to people who are doers, and Mark Gallup is a classic entrepreneur, and has built a team of people around him, and has been in business since 1997 when he was at university. So ECN is a second tier player from the Optuses and the TPGs and the Telstras, but is a company that delivers great value to its clients.
Yeah, well, it's a homegrown success story. But let's talk about some finer points, because we're here to talk about entrepreneurship and leadership and contrast the two. So entrepreneurship, first of all, what's your view of entrepreneurship?
Well, entrepreneurship is usually a characteristic of a very creative person. So if you think of some of the great entrepreneurs of the world, Henry Ford is one that springs to mind, and they think outside the square, and they have ideas which they become extraordinarily passionate about, and they go to put that idea into action. Is what an entrepreneur is, can be described as. When they generate ideas.
Is that what they are first and foremost? Is it about idea generation and creativity, or?
I think it's about ideas and creativity. I think they're the two key points that entrepreneurs display most of all. I mean, they also take risks. Some of the great entrepreneurs, and we were just talking about one before we went on camera here, not Bill Gates, the man who started the Apple business.
So Steve Jobs, yeah.
Steve Jobs, you mentioned that he had a few crashes before he hit the success trail.
Oh yeah, well, he had success with Apple, and then they kicked him to the curb. He was a bit too far for the rails, and obviously there's a board or a set of people who could shift him out when they thought it wasn't appropriate. Yeah.
Well, if you think of Apple, I mean, you think it's a company generating great ideas for this century and the next.
Well, let's talk about, one of the great catch cries, and I think it's Simon Sinek that says it. He says, refers to Jobs as like, join me, we're going to change the world, or follow me, we're going to, it's his catch cry for his staff, yes, supposedly. So is that leadership or is that entrepreneurship in your opinion, Arthur?
Well, I'd say that Jobs was a leader and an entrepreneur, and often, they go hand in hand. But my experience is that entrepreneurs are much thinner on the ground than leaders. So,
okay. Well, it's interesting you say that. I'd almost think the other way around. I mean, there's plenty of ideas people. It's that classic Australian thing of the ideas man. Oh, he's an ideas man, or woman, I guess, in this day and age. Yeah. But you see a lot of people accredited with that, but they don't follow through to get those ideas up and running and getting people swept up in it.
Well, that's the standout thing. So if you've got an idea that's really great, you've got to really sell that idea to other people, in essence, or you've got to be able to finance it yourself and get it going and sell it into the market. And that's where entrepreneurs usually need leaders to help them. But you might think that, well, Henry Ford was a great entrepreneur, but he was a great leader. But often as not, entrepreneurs require leaders to run their businesses, because if you're a great ideas person and you're creative, you probably don't want to get bogged down with the intricacies and the administration of running a business.
Yeah. Now, how does that contrast? We've got a younger generation at the moment being encouraged to not even go into a normal job, leave school or university, start their own business, be entrepreneurial. But without the leadership skills, you know, they're just going to be a bunch of mad hatters, are they? Or something,
Well, I think
something akin to that, you know?
Well, we were talking before, leadership skills can be learned. You can develop those skills, and I made a point this morning of saying, well, what are the leadership skills that you can learn? And you can be positive, you can have an ability to communicate well, because if you're a leader, you've got to be able to communicate to the troops. You've got to inspire and enthuse people. You've got to get them onto the level the playing field where you want to achieve stuff. And I think this is where you're very good, John.
Oh, thank you very much.
And that is the ability to network. Leaders need to network, because if you think of a business, it's constantly got to generate sales, and in that generation of sales, there are people who are coming on and people who are going off. So, you know...
there's always that attrition around any business.
Yes, there's attrition. If you've got a service business, if you know, you can develop a real passion about servicing your clients, and they're probably going to stay with you for years and years. Whereas if you're selling something like a refrigerator or a motor car, you might only get a chance to deal with those people every couple of years.
Sure.
You know, maintaining a great network and meeting new people is one of the great things that leaders do to ensure the ongoing success of their business enterprise.
Yeah, okay. So once again, a contrast with an entrepreneur, I'd argue, because the entrepreneurs are behind the scenes, are in there tinkering, they're writing the software or doing something with pets or something like that.
Yeah, well, entrepreneurs too have got to network. I mean, usually you find boffins aren't that good at networking. And I don't say all entrepreneurs are boffins by any means, but some of the great ideas that have been generated over the years have been by people who you might describe as having a scientific kink, and they tend to be introverted, whereas leaders definitely have to be extroverted.
Right, yeah, okay. Yes, and so there's a distinctness in terms of the nutty professor as opposed to an entrepreneur. It's maybe a blend of that with some leadership.
Yeah, well, I mean, you need some nutty professors. I mean, I can't think of the name of the guy who invented penicillin, but he would be what you could describe as a boffin, you know, in a laboratory, and then he's probably gone outside and got someone else to help him sell the idea. And I'm not sure about the penicillin story, but if there are any budding entrepreneurs here, they could research the story of penicillin and how it became to be, you know, a remarkable...
Such a game changer, yeah.
Yeah, such a remarkable game changer, and such a remarkable thing to assist mankind in maintaining health and defeating bacteria.
Yeah. Now we're going to run out of time, Arthur. So will you stick around? I would like to chat to you a bit longer, but for now we just got to chop this in at 10 minutes, hopefully. So let's do that. But so stay with us. We're going to have another episode of the eCentral Business Show. We'll talk to Arthur some more on this fantastic subject. And if you've got an opinion, please write your comments. If this is on LinkedIn or some other social media avenue, we'd love your comments to support what we're talking about today. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the eCentral Business Show. What we're looking to do across the eCentral Business Show is bring to you the very best content from great people with really informative knowledge to share. It's something that you can listen to in the car. Don't watch it obviously when you're doing that, but we're looking to really bring value to you across LinkedIn, YouTube, podcastable content, so it's really great and informative business knowledge. So please tune in as much as you can. Now, the great ways to follow us, you can register on the database, make contact with us, and we'll put your email in. We're going to tell you each month what great videos will come out, and just give you a curated version through the eCentral magazine, where we're going to send you the most popular videos for the month. The other thing we can do is obviously invite you to connect with us on LinkedIn, linked up with myself, John Nayler. And the other thing, of course, is look up John Nayler on YouTube and subscribe to our channel there.